everyone, welcome back to my channel. Man, you won't believe this nonsense here. Alright, most of you guys know I'm heavy 2A, not heavy 2A, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter 2A, but you got your right if that's what you want to do. But anyway, I'm a 2A, less lethal. Less lethal person that that's heavy into martial arts, right? Martial art, less lethal, guns is not too far of a stretch of communication what a person do. So I am trying to get my life back into the dating side of things, right? I met a person who says that they don't like a person who have guns. I said, okay, sorry you feel that way. I do have guns. I do have less lethal. I have all those things. I have tasers. I have whatever it takes to be safe. And for many years, I was just less lethal. And then I felt like I need a gun for my church of all places. This person told me that, well, if you have guns, you have enemy. I said, what? I said, well, if you have guns, you're looking over your shoulder and you have enemies and you got a violent past. And I said, first thing first, this person has a history of domestic violence, so I'm pretty sure if I put my social work cap on, this person was dating a drug dealer in their past or something. Anyway, this person was telling me that you must be a violent person. I said, the one thing, I'm a social worker. How? It's not impossible to be violent and be a social worker, but I'm a social worker. Do you know I have to get registry and checked? And in order for me to even get guns, I have to have nothing behind my name. So I thought about that, and I was like, it was a rejection, which no man likes being rejected, right? But I'm rejected for what I believe in. And every person has the right to believe what they want to believe, but because I have a gun or I do martial arts or I have less lethal weapons, don't make me a criminal. Don't make me a violent human being. I was highly offended by that. And I was thinking, well, hell, what am I supposed to do? Just sit there and let somebody stab me to death? Or put my hands up and say, please don't hurt me, please don't kill me, please don't do this. And I said to myself, like, unbelievable. Here I am, I'm not Nino Brown, I'm not a drug dealer, I'm not any of those things. But because I want to protect myself from enemies like that, or people, I say enemies, but that's not the word, but people who may potentially do me harm. And I'm not even saying people are doing me harm. I don't live that type of lifestyle where I'm fearing for my life. I'm literally looking at a homeless person right now with a sign up, and that person should have a firearm because they at the biggest risk, being the elements. and this is a cool day today, but I don't live my life in no shape, form, fashion as a violent person. But anyway, I thought that was interesting, but I'm finding out in life, if people want you, they want you. If they want to make any weak attempt or weekend attempt to justify something, they're going to justify it. But what I'm not going to do is change my standard or change what I believe in to make you feel comfortable. If you don't get to know a person by their nature, you don't know. And this is not a video to condone violence. This is not. If I literally know a person that was shot and caused brain damage, I can understand the trauma of a gun or less lethal and what it can bring. Like I said in a few videos before, I had a brother that was a drug dealer, and it caused some type of trauma why I never got a gun. But when I look at it, I look back, my thinking was wrong. I used a very past situation, which we all do, and we blanket it. We make a mass blanket statement for everything, and that's not correct. That is good, honest, hardworking people who never have even shot their guns outside of a shooting range and never used it all their lives, and they protect their family. Now, if you don't want to have a gun, you have every right not to have one. Up to a couple months ago, I felt like I didn't need a gun. I don't live a lifestyle where I need a gun, and I still don't. I'll be honest with you, I still don't live a lifestyle where I actually need a gun. The main reason I got it was if I was at a church situation and there happened to be a danger that, you know, that person have a gun, I need to be able to protect the people that's around me the quickest possible. If that means I have to use that for that purpose, so be it. But if I can walk away, or if that person can be talked down, that's number one. Your words is the best self-defense. Number two, if that person is not carrying something and you asking them to leave and they mouthing off, then less lethal is your number two option. Let's say they can walk away all 15 rounds of magazines, kinetics, and pepper ball. Then by all means use what you need. Use, the third option. But most 91% of the time it's the first two. It's the first two that keep you safe. But it's all a personal choice. It's all a personal choice of what you believe. But I'm not going to knock your belief for it. You just doing what is good for you. And sometimes that's all we can do. We can do what's good for you. And sometimes it's just not your time. It is not your time. 3 years ago, it wasn't my time for a gun. 3 years ago, I had my time for anything except my fists and my martial arts. And then I realized if somebody has any type of weapon, I could do all the fancy martial arts, but it's no good if I can't touch them. So I went, okay, let me do less lethal, because I saw a burger sign, and I said, hey, I can have a gun or a less lethal without the option of hurting somebody, and I don't have to do the background checks. And my ignorance of not knowing guns, I thought you gotta do extensive background checks. You gotta do all this and this to have it, and you know, put your hand on the Bible and all this. I mean, it was silly as it sounds. I was kind of believing that's what it took for guns. And then I realized, as long as your address is accurate and you have a driver license and you don't have a record, you can get a gun. But that was not, but 3 years ago was not the stage. I had to build up to those stages. Now I'm at this stage. But even with my guns, now I have 4. I don't carry it. I mean, I'm about to carry 1 in my car, but throughout the week, I just carry my less lethal. And then I go on Sunday to the shooting range. And I'm good with that. Some people, they need to carry it everywhere. You know, and you have that right. It doesn't make you less or greater human being. You just have to do what's best for you, you know. But what I think we should all think about is, hey, let's use our words and use other things and other options to make sure we don't go to the last option. If that's either when you have a house, when I had a house, you know, I had cameras, I had 6 of them. I have alarm systems, I have deterrents, and then I had my less lethal as my last resort. But I lived in a very nice neighborhood, so it wasn't, you know, that was the biggest threat I need. Now, I still don't need it. I don't have that type of threat. But the capacity I'm working for and the capacity of being somewhere and I have another option, so be it. If that means that's what it takes to protect the people I serve, so be it. But I'm going to use other options. I'm not going to be the first one. Now, there's some people with the guns or less lethal, and they feel some type of, they're a big man or they're a tough person because they have a gun. It don't make you a tougher person because you have a gun. It don't make you a better human being because you have a gun. I know plenty of people have guns, they can't fight a lick. But your mindset should be, hey, I'm here to protect people. But if you got the mindset of, hey, this makes me feel some type of power, then you need to really, really go to counseling and figure out why you feel like you use that as an extension of your ego. Then you have the wrong mindset of having a weapon, and you should not have a weapon whatsoever. But if you have a weapon of, hey, I'm here to protect my family, and this is what it takes, I'm not mad at you. For me, less lethal is still my first choice, and then a gun is my second choice. And then my best choice is not to be in the situation whatsoever. If it looks shady, get away. But anyway, I found it very comical that a person would not talk to me because I have guns. If that's how easy it is for you to not to give me a chance, then you don't deserve me anyway. Period. Because that's some weak excuse. That's the weakest excuse I ever heard. So I want to protect the people I love, even though I've never done a violent thing in my life outside of work. Sometimes my work has been violent and I had to defend myself. But for the most part, outside that, you know, no violent anything. Ever, you know. Now I have some people, some ex-wife, ex-husband deserves to get his ass whipped, but I never done it. But that's called me being a responsible human being, and hey, I have a family to think about, and hey, I don't want anything that would take me away from my freedom. That's just called good common sense. Weapon or no weapon. You gotta use good common sense. But anyway, I thought that was comical. What you think? Give me your comments. All right, have a good one.